Hello everybody, so I'm going to show you how I make my dandelion rainbow wishes. After you have dried out your dandelions, you are going to put them in whatever mold you want to use. I'm using these cubes. All I'm doing is putting a dab of UV resin on the end of the stem, and then I'm UV resining it to the side, and that's going to hold it in place so it doesn't float around. And go ahead and get them lined up how you like and just shine that little UV light to cure them, and now they're secure. This is the resin I'm using, Let's Resin epoxy resin. I mix it slowly with a plastic knife, and then I'm slowly pouring it into my cube molds. Before I pour any resin, I spray with 91% alcohol to help pop air bubbles. I pour towards the side of the mold and kind of directly on the dandelion, and just go very slow and be careful. I'm adding a few little stray seeds so it looks like they're drifting off. After that has cured, we're going to paint the rainbow. I'm using Let's Resin alcohol inks. I got all the rainbow colors there. And I'm using their UV resin and just putting a drop on a paper plate. And then I'm putting one drop each of each color into those drops of UV resin. So now I'm just going to use my toothpicks and make a rainbow. And I messed up a little bit. Look at that wonky rainbow. If you want to erase, just use a Q-tip with some 91% alcohol onto it, and that'll make it come off. So after I do each color, I'm going to do a fast cure with my little flashlight there. And that's just so my colors don't bleed into one another. After I do all my colors, I will do a longer cure. So I'm just going to finish up the rest of the colors of the rainbow, going in Roy G. Biv, and then just curing each color after I'm done with that UV light. You get the idea. I want to mention, if you don't know how to dry out dandelions, I do have a little reel that explains how I do it. I'm not saying it's the best way, but it is kind of helpful. So I just finished up my rainbow and that, and I'm going to put it under my UV light for a few minutes to fully cure. And then I was iffy about spraying alcohol on this because UV resin and alcohol ink doesn't cure very well, and I was worried that my colors might bleed. And looking at this video, I think some actually did, but I just kind of mixed it to dilute it. But I don't know, just be careful spraying alcohol on top of the rainbow. And then right here, I am popping some air bubbles that I can get to with my little handy dandy metal hook. I'm using all the rainbow silver holographic glitter from Art by Tish in her Etsy shop. I'll link it. It's the best glitter in the world. I'm just pouring a little bit of clear resin in this one because I wanted to fill in those air bubbles. Now I'm going to spray my molds with that alcohol and top off with glitter. It's best not to overfill your molds. It makes life harder, in my opinion. So try not to overfill it. And I am going to empty that one out a little bit. Have other molds nearby so you don't waste no resin. Let that fully cure. Now we're going to unmold them. I'm using some 91% alcohol to spray in on all the sides and kind of loosen that suction. And your little piece of art should pop right out once that seal's broken. So kind of just squish it all around and pop it out. And these look really cool. There's barely any bubbles. Make sure when you pour that epoxy resin, you gently scrape the sides with a toothpick. I forgot to mention that. So here's my little one. It looks pretty good. I debated top coating and sanding these, but I think they look pretty good. So I'm not going to risk putting a top coat on them and ruining it. So I don't like to make more work than I have to. But here it is in all directions. You can see the layers. The sparkles look really pretty, and I love how the rainbow is translucent. So you guys try it. Make sure you show me. Thanks for watching.